Analytical representation of constraints. Let us first discuss about some basic definitions. At first, dynamical system. A system of particles is known as a dynamical system. Next, configuration. The set of positions of all the particles is known as configuration of the dynamical system. If we take some particles in two-dimensional coordinate axis, then the set of positions of all those points gives the configuration of the system. Constraints. So at first we consider a system of particles pk where k goes from 1 to n. Now if we consider a particle p1, then its position is given by r1 and velocity is given by v1. Similarly, for other particles, we have position and velocity. On the position and velocity of the particles, we impose some restrictions, that is geometrical and kinematical, which are known as constraints. Let us consider the motion of a system of particles pk where k goes from 1 to n relative to some inertial system of coordinates. Then the geometrical or kinematical restrictions imposed on the positions and velocities of the particles of the system are called constraints. If we consider the motion of a particle in a circular wire, then the motion of the particle is constant motion. A system with such constraints is known as a constraint system. If there is no constraints on the system, then it is called a free system. Constraints limit the motion of any particle or system of particles. The particle can't move arbitrarily. In the previous video, constraints and constant motion were discussed in detail with examples. To watch the video, click the I button. Analytical representation of constraints. Let t represents time. Rk, where k goes from 1 to n, represents the position vector. Rk dot equal to drk divided by dt is equal to vk, represents the velocity of the particle pk where k goes from 1 to n of the system. Then a constraint is expressed by the equation f of rk, rk dot, t equal to 0, where f of rk, rk dot, t is equal to f of r1, r2 dot rn, r1 dot, r2 dot up to rn dot, t. That means k varies from 1 to n. So rk is replaced by r1, r2, rn, and rk dot is replaced by r1 dot, r2 dot, and rn dot. Finite or geometrical constraints. The constraints which can be expressed as f of r1, r2, rn, t equal to 0 are called finite or geometrical constraints. These constraints impose restrictions on the position of the particle but do not impose restrictions on velocity. At any instant of time, the particle cannot be at any arbitrary position. Differential or kinematical constraints. The constraints which can be expressed as f of r1, r2 up to rn and r1 dot, r2 dot up to rn dot, t equal to 0 are called differential or kinematical constraints. These constraints impose restrictions on the velocity of the particle but do not impose restrictions on the position of the particle. At any instant of time, the particle can be at any arbitrary position. Now, if t represents time, then rk vector where k goes from 1 to n represents the position vector. Rk dot equal to drk dt is equal to vk where k goes from 1 to n represents the velocity of the particle pk of the system. Then differential or kinematical constant is f of rk, rk dot, t equal to 0. Say this is equation number 1, where f of rk, rk dot, t is equal to f of r1, r2 up to rn, then r1 dot, r2 dot up to rn dot, t. And the finite and geometrical constant is f of rk, t is equal to 0. Say this is equation number 2, where f of rk comma t is equal to f of r1, r2 up to rn comma t. For a finite constant, a system cannot occupy an arbitrary position in space at every given instant of time because finite constraints impose restrictions to possible positions of the system at time t. In differential constraint, the system may occupy any arbitrary position in space at any time t. In this position, the velocity of the particles of the system cannot any longer be arbitrary because the differential constraint impose restrictions on these values. Now, we consider only such differential constraints whose equation contain the velocity of the particles in linear form as summation k goes from 1 to n vector lk dot vector rk dot plus capital D equal to 0. Say this is equation number 3, where the factors lk, where k goes from 1 to n, and the scalar capital D are specified functions of t, and r1, r2 up to rn. Each finite constant is of the form f of rk, t equal to 0, and this is equation number 4. Implies a differential constant whose equation is obtained by term-wise differentiation of equation 4 as summation k goes from 1 to n del f by del rk into rk dot plus del f by del t equal to 0. So this is equation number 5, where vector rk is equal to xk ik plus yk jk plus zk kk, and del f by del rk equal to del f by del xk ik plus del f by del yk jk plus del f by del zk kk. But a differential constant of type 5 is not equivalent to the finite constant 4 because it is equivalent to the finite constant f of rk, t equal to c, where c is an arbitrary constant. So the finite constant 5 is integrable. In rectangular Cartesian coordinates, the constant equations are f of rk, rk dot, t equal to 0, and f of rk, t equal to 0. Summation k goes from 1 to n vector lk dot rk dot vector plus capital D equal to 0, and summation of k goes from 1 to n del f by del rk dot plus del f by del t equal to 0 are written as f of xk, yk, zk, xk dot yk dot zk dot t equal to 0, and f of xk, yk, zk, t equal to 0. That means these equations are written in Cartesian coordinate system. Now the last two equations in terms of Cartesian coordinates can be written as summation k goes from 1 to n ak dot xk dot plus bk dot yk dot plus ck dot zk dot plus capital D equal to 0, and summation k goes from 1 to n del f by del xk dot plus del f by del yk dot plus del f by del zk dot plus del f by del t equal to 0, where rk equal to xk ik plus yk jk plus zk kk, and lk is equal to capital AK ik plus capital BK jk plus capital CK kk, and AK, BK, CK, where k goes from 1 to n, are scalar functions of x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 up to xn, yn, zn.